one little bit of a second here. Just one little bit of a second. We will be live on Facebook Live. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, just like that. Now, you don't have to do a single thing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, moms and dads, children of all ages. You ain't got to do nothing. All you got to do, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, is sit back, listen, watch, and enjoy. Good afternoon. You are watching Living on a Thin Line with Vicich. I am Tony Vicich. We come to you every day at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Well, 6 days a week. We take Saturday off. We are your daily distraction from all the anger, anxiety, weirdness, and hoopla in the world today. We come to you on 3 platforms, ComedySchoolsRadioNetwork.com, where you can sit back and simply listen. YouTube Comedy Schools, you get a panoramic view of all the junk in my office. And, of course, right here on Facebook Live, where many of you will be staring at my face in just a minute. We come to you on 3 platforms. We are built on 3 tent poles. And they are your questions and comments as you question and comment on the aforementioned social media sites, where we will then question and comment back. They could actually count as like 2 tent poles, I think. I think it might. But I'm only going to count it as 1. I don't want to get bogged down in those sort of arcane intricacies this afternoon. We also usually then have some knick-knack or periodical or autograph or some little goofy curiosity that we have sitting around here in the home office that we share with you, and then weave a personal story around. And we recommend one artist, our piece of music based off of our vast vinyl album and compact disc collection. It is Tuesday, 2 days before Thanksgiving. 2 days before Thanksgiving. And I hope you're going to have a wonderful one. And I hope that you have many more of them. Keeping that in mind, this will be the first Thanksgiving that Shirley and I have where we're not drunk, naked, and fist fighting on the front lawn. No, that's not true. That's not true. We will be drunk, naked, and fist fighting on the front lawn. So come on by and take pictures. We'll play. No, this will be the first Thanksgiving where we're not going anywhere or having anyone over. Or having you know what? People might come over. People might just sneak over. They might crawl in through the rain gutters. Who knows? But that's not the plan. But here's what we're also doing. Thought I'd mention this. We're still going to cook up a big Thanksgiving dinner. Even though we're not going to have a company, and even though we ain't going to go keep no one company, we're still going to cook up a big old Thanksgiving dinner. We got a turkey, and we got a stuffing, and we got mashed taters, and cranberries, and green beans. We got them little crispy onion rings that you crumble over the green beans. Pumpkin pie, fixings for pumpkin pie. Shirley's going to make her very own crust. That's right, no store-bought pumpkin pie, not out here in Maricopa, Arizona. Not if you want to continue living out here. Not if you don't want to have rocks and garbage tossed at you as you're on your some sort of daily joint. So we're still going to do it up, just like if we were going to have a whole house, just to keep the tradition alive, even though we won't be having people over. It's not that we don't have people that we want to have over. It's not that we haven't been invited places. It's not that there aren't things we want to do. But with now a vaccine, with real vaccines created, just sitting there at the big old vaccine house, wherever you keep vaccines. I could change my name, and that'd be very popular. Instead of Tony Vicich, it'd be Tony Vaccine. With vaccines available, and since they're going to start rolling something out as early as December, I think less people will go out this year for the holidays than they would if they went, look, we're still a year or 2 away from a vaccine. I think if we were like a year or 2 away from a vaccine, or a year or 2 from any sort of viable treatments, that people go, all right, well, we still have to go about our lives, and we can't stay quarantined forever, and there'd be more risk. I'm willing to bet, and I would bet 32 cents, and I will find the coins that add up to that and show them to you. I would be willing to bet 32 cents, ladies and gentlemen, that more people will sort of semi-quarantine throughout the rest of November and December going into January than if we didn't have vaccines becoming rapidly available. Because it's like, why risk it now?
I doubt it.
Now, Sullivan Ramirez, who is my grandson, just shouted in, I doubt it. Now, he could be right. He could be right. After all, he's 8 years old and he has a fully functioning brain. And half the time, my noggin is foggier than London on a cloudy day.
So I know.
What's that?
So I know more about the news than I do that my mom does.
He just told me, and this is true, that Sullivan knows more about the news than his mom does. Now, there's a reason for that. Okay? And I can make up some horrible joke here, but then I'm talking about my stepdaughter, and that wouldn't be right. It's because she works all day, and he is here with us a lot while she's working, and we got the news on all day. She actually said the other day, she goes, I get caught up by the news by talking to my 8-year-old son. So I think that's how it should all be done, ladies and gentlemen. I proclaim from this day forward that no adult should watch the news. Only children should watch for a couple hours a day, and then we have to get the recap from them in the evening. That's a thought. I'm not putting any sense behind it. I'm not putting my 32 cents behind it. Abhinav Goyal said Vicich was a mispronunciation of my name done by a history professor I had during my long tenure in college, when I went to a year and a half of junior college at Jefferson Junior College in Hillsborough, Missouri, which is a couple years before it had been a trade school. I had a college professor who purposely mispronounced my name Vicich, but that would be good. Tony Vaccine Vicich. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Hey, what do you know? I'm Tony Vaccine Vicich. What do you don't want to get sick? Come over here. Let me give you a little injection. Hey. You know, for the people who are reluctant to get the vaccine, and you know what? I'm going to look at those people with lower regard than I looked at the anti-maskers, and I didn't have any regard for them. And you got people, I don't get no vaccine because I let it, those people should be, those people should be walled off somewhere. We could pick some place in an empty part of Texas and just wall it all off and go, there you go. You don't need to get no vaccine now, and just let them all hoot and holler behind the walls there in anti-vaccine land. But for people who aren't convinced, we should have a guy who comes on going, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen right now, okay? I'm Tony Vaccine Vicich. You got it? Okay, good. Here's what's going to happen, all right? All right, like in a couple of days, a couple of weeks, your doctor, your pharmacy, your Walmart, your CVS, your Walgreens, it's going to have a vaccine for you. You're going to take it. I don't want to hear nothing from you. Now, zip it, zip it. Don't go popping off at the yap. Okay? I want you to cork your pie hole, roll up your sleeve, and let Tony Vaccine Vicich stick you. Because if you don't stick you, I'm going to stick you in a cement pond. Hey, get your vaccine. That's your public service announcement. There you go. I've got the commercial right there that I think will save millions of lives. You know what? We're not only entertained here, we help. We help people. Hey, I tell you what I'm going to also be doing to help people. Look, I understand. I actually have friends who have not left their property since March. You know what? Which is probably the wisest course, if at all possible. I have people who have not left their property since March. And then I have people who have just ran around like nuts. Not that, I don't know, nuts don't actually run around. Nuts, not even, like macadamia nuts are testicles. They don't run around. So, but you know what I'm talking. I don't have to explain everything to you guys, do I? Okay? So, and somewhere in between has been the rest of us. All right? And human beings are social creatures. We're social. We got to have some sort of socializing. So for those that still needed it, we've kind of done a public service. Okay? Because we ain't getting rich out of it. And even though we have our workshops and shows online, we have been offering a limited amount of workshops and shows live in person in a very safe place. Okay, we've been doing it at JP's Comedy Club, jpscomedyclub.com, 860 East Warner Road, Gilbert, Arizona, And I'll be there tonight teaching a writing workshop that will be safe and socially distanced. We were going to do an improv workshop there, but the law and the guidelines say that performers on stage have to be 6 foot apart. And there's no way to have an improv show with performers that far away and have any sort of good program going on. So we're not doing that. We are doing a writing workshop there tonight. And then this weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday, and that's right, Thursday is Thanksgiving. But I know that a lot of people, listen, when I was in my 20s, I was out every Thanksgiving night. Matter of fact, when I was in my 20s, Thanksgiving night was 365 days a year. I woke up, ate like a pig, and went out and got loaded. So if you're going to go out and get loaded, maybe JP's isn't the right place because we don't have a liquor license yet, but we do have comedy there. And if you want to go out someplace that is being very mindful of our current situation, at the same time trying to offer you something live in person, JP's Comedy Club, jpscomedyclub.com has shows Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And you know what? They're going to be fun shows. Bring the family, bring the kids, hitch up the wagon, hitch up the horses, put mama in her good bonnet, put the daughter in her gingham dress, have the boys put on some shoes, and come on into Gilbert and see Isaac the Magician. Isaac the Magician this Thursday, Friday, Saturday at JP's Comedy Club. Oftentimes, Jim Perry himself tunes in and watches the program, and we have a little pitter-patter with him, but he is not here with us now. When you do go to JP's Comedy Club, ask if I'm there, and when they say no, he's not, then ask for Jimmy. When you go to JP's Comedy Club in Gilbert, Arizona, and you're there purchasing your ticket, I want you to go, hey, can we talk to Jimmy? Just generally, he's the one who's selling you the ticket, but he doesn't go by Jimmy, he goes by Jim. Can I talk to Jimmy? You go, yeah, I'm Jimmy, what do you want? Say, I heard you put salt on your pizza. Say it like that and see what he has to say. All right, and so I don't know what the hell this man does to Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know if I would go, by the way, and I'm just going to say this right now, even though he's my business partner and a good friend, and I respect him highly, and I think he's a fine, decent person. He's a good husband. He's a good father. I mean, I'd guess he's a good husband. I know I'm not married to the man, all right? But if I was married to him, it'd be okay because it's legal. Be a little weird. But I don't know if I'd had Thanksgiving dinner in his house. And I'm telling Jim, and I know some people are on right now who know Jim. If you want to send him a message right now and say, Tony's on the air talking about you, you go right ahead. I don't know that I would have Thanksgiving dinner at Jim Perry's house because Jim Perry, we know, puts salt on his pizza. So God knows what that man does to a Thanksgiving bird. All right? Probably when you tell Jim Perry it's time to stuff the bird, a whole different activity takes place. All right. So that's some of the things that are going on with us. We're still up in the air if we're going to have a Thursday show or not. One thought is no Thursday show because it's Thanksgiving. The other thought is a lot of folks will be looking for something to watch besides crappy football. And hats off to the LA Rams beating Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last night. I have 3 football teams that I follow. The Arizona Cardinals, the LA Rams, and every once in a while still the Oakland or Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are probably the hardest team in the NFL to follow, not because of their personnel or win and loss record, because they just keep moving. Every time you go to find them, they're in a different city. And last night, the LA Rams kind of proved that they are the real deal when Jared Goff and the Los Angeles Rams beat Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So hats off to that. There'll still be, I think, it'll be Dallas and Detroit will be playing Thursday. Not each other, separate games. Hey, here's something you didn't know before we get to the other stuff. Just a little tidbit for you. You may not know. I'm going to share with you because I like you, because you're my friend. You're my friend. You're my friend. Why does Dallas traditionally play on Thanksgiving? There's no joke here. There's actually a tidbit. Okay? Because back in the dawn of the NFL, the AFL joined the NFL, and the dawn before the NFL was the giant that it once was,
Sorry.
I don't know what's going on in the back over here. Before it once was. It was hard to find any teams that would be willing to be scheduled on Thanksgiving. But Dallas was so abysmal and so bad, they went, what the hell, we'll do it. Why not? Okay, because it was not yet a Thanksgiving tradition. So even though tomorrow many of us will not be having friends and families and loved ones over, many of us will not watch our day devolve from a day of warmth and gratitude and joy into drunken arguments over politics and who fooled around on who in 1975. The tradition of the Dallas Cowboys playing on Thanksgiving will continue on. So, and we think it's cool. All right, let's get to the stuff. Do I have stuff here? I got stuff, but I don't know. Cheryl, just reach over there on top of that white box and whatever the first thing under the album is, hand to me and we'll talk about it, okay? I didn't grab everything up as quick as I could here. You know what's going on right now in comedyschools.com land, and this is thanks to our good friend DJ Perry. Not DJ Perry, DJ Payne. There's a DJ Perry, and he is a friend of ours. What I do to him is now deep and abiding in deep interest in collecting baseball cards. Grown men. Last night I had a 20-minute conversation with DJ Payne, who will be performing at JP's Comedy Club this weekend, at least on Thursday. I know he'll be there Thursday. If you want to ruin your Thanksgiving dinner, if you want to have an upset stomach, yet it's an upset stomach from laughter, go to JP's Thursday night. You see DJ Payne before Isaac the Magician makes it all go away. He is a big a card collector. And it turns out that Jim Perry, who owns JP's Comedy Club, has got boxes of cards from when he was a kid. His mom didn't throw them out. Everybody else watching right now, you know what happened to your baseball card collection. You know what happened to all your football and basketball cards and all your comic books and all. Your mom gave them away or threw them out because you moved out and started taking dope and running around with women, and it hurt your mom's feelings. And she threw everything away. Well, that didn't happen with Jim. So there's a lot of talk about collection. But I'm still sticking with collecting comic books because I'm a grown man. Right here, I got something really cool for you right there. This is where I put my concentration, and I'll be at a comic book store in a little while. Spider-Man and the Vision. This sold for 20 cents November 5th. I bought it for a whopping $8. $8. Now, you might think, why? And the answer is I have no earthly idea. I just still think that the art on a comic book is just some of the most exciting stuff to see. Granted, I should be looking at Picasso's. What did Abhinav Goyal just ask me? I'm looking on Facebook Live here. I'm seeing questions. Where's your cat? Indoors? What does that mean, Abhinav? Of course the cat's indoors. I tell you who would not be indoors if you came over. Not you wouldn't be, because Roscoe would bite you, my dog. Tina Mike Lawson says, put on bicycle spokes with wooden clothespins. That's what happened to a lot of our baseball cards. We were kids. We destroyed them ourselves. I had a lot of the early Spider-Man, much earlier than this one, but I'm rebuilding that collection now. This one, Marvel comic books, Marvel team up, Spider-Man and the Vision. And on the front here, he's fighting some sort of big, scary-looking monster dude. Look at that. Isn't that neat? And it says, keep back, everybody. If Spider-Man can't stop that thing from totaling the Vision, nobody can. So there's some big red, kind of like Iron Man looking guy beating up some guy called the Vision, who I never heard of. And Spider-Man's going to save him. But will he or will he not? I don't know. Once again, another great story in the saga of simple old Peter Parker, raised by his aunt and uncle, who was then bit by a spider and became a superhero. How many of you as kids read Spider-Man and then went out and got a spider and kind of sat on your forehead and cursed it out? I would have bite you on the forehead and turn you into a Superman. Raise your right hand. Okay. My grandson Sullivan did. You can see it right there on YouTube. Only exclusively on YouTube could you see Sullivan raise his right hand to that. So I don't have a lot to tell you about that, except that later on today, Sullivan, step into Facebook here and say hi, Sullivan. What do you say?
Hello.
You're supposed to say hi, Sullivan. Say hi, Sullivan.
Hello.
All right, good. All right, this is as far as we're. All right, so he and I will be at the comic book store today. later on, picking up more comic books. That's right. Maricopa has its own comic book store.
I've never got all these. I even got one for my dad.
And he bought the other day a comic for his dad, and right there it is, Popeye. Popeye the Sailor Man. I live in a garbage can. That's how I'll be spending my afternoon before I go and teach my workshop. I guess I should be celebrating that the General Services Administration, a branch of the U.S. government with a appointed head, has allowed the official transition from the Trump administration to the Biden administration to begin. And everybody's acting like this is a big deal. It is a big deal, but I'm not going to celebrate it because we've lost 2 valuable weeks in an important transition over hoo-ha, mishmash, and falderall. And during those weeks, a lot of people got sick. And during those weeks, a lot of people died. And during those weeks, a lot of damage was done. And Emily Murphy, I believe that's her name, the head of the General Services Administration, and the Trump administration should not be applauded for no longer hampering the process because it's their job. No one should be applauded for just doing their job. I come from that generation. You don't get applauded for doing your job. I think that it is criminal that they waited this long. It's not even how the law is written concerning transitions, the money being released, the process being allowed to continue. And so when people are saying, well, finally the Trump administration has allowed the transition, no, it's not that they have allowed the transmission. They have stopped hindering the orderly process that is necessary to take place. Somebody goes, well, Trump didn't have an order. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. There were a lot of questions surrounding that election that were far more legitimate than any of the questions asked during this election. But it's now moving forward, and let's hope for better days. I just thought I'd throw in one political thing. One little political thing I thought I'd throw in there before we continue on. I don't know if there we go. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing any questions here because sometimes this thing sticks. A lot of times, a lot of crazy things happen, man. Okay. All right. So let's get to the music, shall we? Hello, Champ de Blasio. How are you, sir? Let's get to the music. Here's what we're going to talk about today. Now, a lot of times, is this what we're going to talk about? Yeah. A lot of times, I talk about music that is well known to my watchers and listeners. And even if the FBI's tap my phone, they know who I'm talking about. Is well known to the people who watch and listen. Sometimes it's music they forgot and then they fall in love with again. Sometimes it's music that came out during your era you didn't pay attention to. Sometimes you never heard of it. It's not from your era, and we introduce you to something new. And now we're going to something that maybe not. For a lot of my listeners and viewers and watchers, there's probably not a lot of big Lena Horne fans, but there should be. And there we have Lena Horne. And I'm going to give you the song now so Shirley can get it up right away. We want to get up her version of we're going to get up her version of The Lady is a Tramp. Okay? Okay. This woman was an incredible vocal stylist. Lena Horne was just absolutely stunning. More of a Broadway show tunes, pop music, sort of pop jazz, a singer. A matter of fact, this entire album was recorded live on Broadway, where she did a Broadway show that ran for something like 300 performances. I'm looking at this. Nobody here really stands out as far as people whose names we know that were playing there. But for almost a year, you could hear this incredible vocalist, Lena Horne. And why are we talking about so many of these people today? I think it's important. In the past week or two or so, people have said you've really been highlighting a lot of what I think are just great artists, but actually, and I didn't start doing it on purpose, great female African-American artists. And I think it was my own subconscious reaction to the horrific spectacle of the Trump administration, the Republican Party, demanding votes be thrown out and questioning votes and casting derision and doubt on the elections in Detroit, Philadelphia, and Atlanta in particular, which are primarily African-American cities. There are more African-Americans in those cities often than there are people of other ethnic groups. And that this old, horrible, tired, sad, disgusting thing that so many of us of a certain age went through or witnessed as young people that we thought was over, once again reared its ugly head. And make no mistake about it, it was the ugly taint of racism. And women like Lena Horne were not only great singers, were not only great performers, but were forced, because of the times that they lived in, to also become civil rights activists, to march, to speak out, to do voter registration. They were forced because all they wanted to do was sing, because that's all a singer usually wants to do, is sing. They were also forced to become great civil rights activists. And you know what? And it cost them. It cost them a lot. It cost them a lot in their personal lives. It cost them a lot in their business lives. It cost them a lot in their creative lives. But if you want to hear a vocalist who was absolutely stunning and who had a long and successful career, check out Lena Horne. Okay, especially if you're older like I am, all right, and everything you love, you listen to the grooves wear out. You've listened to Led Zeppelin, you've listened to Linda Ronstadt, you've listened to all those people 100 times, and we're not saying don't listen to them. We love them. We want to expand our musical horizons. You want to listen to the vocal stylings of Miss Lena Horne, and there's a lot of songs we could have went with on here, but I went with "Lady Is a Tramp" because it's a classic that most people only know from Sinatra. Right, Sullivan?
Sure.
And
if you're wondering what happened to my shirt,
yes, what happened to your shirt?
4 words, the cat caught it.
The cat caught your shirt. All right, so now Sullivan is shirtless because the cat caught it. I still have a shirt on, okay, because I don't want to frighten away listeners and watchers. Good news, by the way, I went and had a beginning of a heart checkup today, and they couldn't find it. They go, it doesn't seem to exist. No, and everything's fine. It looks like I'm going to be with you for quite a while. If I'm not, it won't be because of my heart, because I've got a lot of heart, and I got a lot of soul, and we love soul music, and we love music that touches you in your heart, and Lena Horne does all of that. All right, that's going to be it for today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to wrap it up. Wrap it up. I'll take it. Hope you enjoyed listening today to these tangential ramblings from a man in his mid-60s in the town of Maricopa, Arizona. We'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Whoa. I was bound to happen.
with another episode of Living on a Thin Line. Bye-bye.
You made it get in your own.
Not ending.
Yeah, you know what it is because I've got it set and crooked because that way it evens up.
Now you know what happens afterwards.
Yeah.
Bye.